Today, we will study about a man who was born with many talents. He was not just a mathematician, a geometrician, a philosopher, but was also a cosmologist and a founder of the school. We are talking about Pythagoras. Pythagoras was an ancient Greek Ionian philosopher. Unfortunately, no authentic writings of Pythagoras have survived. As a result, his philosophical theories and views are mostly known to us from the works of other philosophers who have been influenced by him to a great extent. Two of such examples are Plato and Bertrand Russell. Plato's famous dialogue, Timaeus, exhibits Pythagoras' philosophy in detail. And likewise, Bertrand Russell's text, A History of Western Philosophy, gives an elaborate account of Pythagoras, the philosopher, and his school, Pythagoreanism. Pythagoreanism originated around the 6th century BC based on the teachings of Pythagoras, and some of the features or the chief features of the school were: the school believed in vegetarianism, they practiced silence, they listened to music, practicing maths and geometry was a common practice. They also abstained from eating beans. They were debarred from touching a white cock. They practiced asceticism. They were told not to eat the heart and not to stir fire with iron. So, in short, we can say that the entire Western philosophy, in some way or the other, has been influenced by the famous Pythagoras. Now, let's study his arc, or as some people call it, arche. Pythagoras believed that everything is numbers, or whatever exists in numbers. The Pythagoreans represented numbers graphically and not symbolically via letters. For example, they called point number 1, a line number 2, plane number 3, a solid number 4, material qualities number 5, animal animations number 6, etc. So, this was done basically to allow a visual comprehension of numbers, and that made geometrical explorations of numerical relationships possible. Similarly, number 1 was related to intellect and being, number 2 to thought, justice was given the number 4, and number 9, a dominant position was given to number 3. Now, Pythagoras believed that the whole world resided in this number for multiple reasons, such as it could be that there in Christianity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and everything has a beginning, a middle, and an end, etc. So, there is also an ethical aspect related to number 3, as the goodness of each person is believed to be threefold, that is, prudence, drive, and good fortune. So, these are some of the explanations that the writers have come up with in order to explain the importance of the number 3. According to Pythagoras, mathematics and geometry were not simply the subjects that dealt with the study of numbers, rather, they dealt with the study of proportions, the study of order, and the study of harmony. Pythagoras is a renowned mathematician and a geometrician, apart from being a philosopher. He is credited to have discovered what is today known to us as the Pythagoras theorem, which most of us have studied in school. According to the theorem, in a right angled triangle, the sum on the sides is equal to the square on the hypotenuse. Hence, according to Pythagoras, the numbers were his arche. We will now talk about his concept of body and soul. Now, Pythagoras believed that the soul is immortal in nature. He believed in the concept of rebirths and even in the transmigration of the soul. Transmigration of the soul is termed as the supposed transmigration at death of the soul of a human being or an animal into a new body of the same or different species. He also believed that the wheels of rebirth is essentially a painful exercise, and it is the duty of each man to put an end to it. The main reason behind the painful exercise is the concept of body. According to Pythagoras, body is the tomb of the soul. It is the body which shackles the soul into the wheels of rebirth. Body attracts and invites desires, passions, greed, etc. to follow, which end up shackling the soul. As a result, he regarded the visible world or the world of material things to be entirely false or illusionary in nature. He advocated that the release of the soul from the rounds of endless and painful reincarnations is possible by the means of mystic meditation. Now, this mystic meditation is of a different nature here because it is intellectual in nature. It deals with practicing mathematics, keeping silent, and listening to music. Hence, Pythagoras proposed and advocated aestheticism to all his followers. Aestheticism is a self instructed disciplined path or a way of life where one consciously tries to stay away from the path of indulgence. It is important to note that Plato, like we already discussed, was highly influenced by Pythagoras' views on the concept of body and soul. So, to give you an example, like Pythagoras, Plato also gave soul a superior status over the body and regarded that the body deals with emotions, errors, and percepts, whereas the soul deals with concepts, reason, and knowledge. Now, coming to the next concept, that is the concept of feminism. So, was Pythagoras a feminist philosopher? So, the answer is Pythagoras can be regarded as a feminist philosopher because he was one of the sole philosophers who did not speak negatively regarding the nature and being of a woman. He is regarded as a feminist for he founded an order in which both men and women were regarded as equals. His school was also open to women and he taught men and women alike. His own mother, wife, and daughters were close to the school and were the members of the school. Even the mathematical discoveries of the school were considered to be a team effort, and the collective achievements of men and women were equally appreciated. So, aestheticism is an important aspect of the philosophy of Pythagoras. According to him, an aesthetic life is a life which is regarded as an ethical life, a life in which one does not run after indulgences, luxuries, passions, desires, etc. According to him, all these indulgences only add to our suffering, misery, and pain. Along with asceticism, he also laid emphasis on the purity of conduct. According to him, suicide was completely forbidden. He believed no excuse or clarification could justify the act of suicide. He says, life is full of pain and suffering, yet suicide is not deemed desirable, for instead of putting an end to the wheel of rebirths, it strengthens it. He also practiced and preached vegetarianism to all his followers. He personally abstained from eating meat, beans, and fish. He regarded giving pain to animals for humans' selfish reasons to satiate their appetites as an immoral and an unethical practice. Hence, he believed that vegetarianism fosters a healthy diet and abstains from killing of sentient beings, that is, animals, for food. Now, Pythagoras, apart from being a mathematician, a geometrician, a philosopher, the founder of the school, was also a cosmologist. He believed that there is a central fire around which the earth, the sun, the moon, and the 5 planets move. Here, it is very important to note that Pythagoras is the only thinker who was nearest to the truth in not regarding the earth to be the center of the universe. Now, earth as the center of the universe was regarded to be true by many of his contemporaries and early Greek philosophers. Now, coming to the last concept, that is the theory of the opposites. According to Pythagoras, world is composed of opposites. He laid down a list of 10 opposites. They are odd and even, limited and unlimited, one and many, right and left, masculine and feminine, rest and motion, straight and crooked, light and dark, good and evil, and square and oblong. So basically, he believed that everything in the world is composed of opposites. Question: Pythagoras believed in, the correct answer is metempsychosis. He believed in metempsychosis, which basically means the doctrine of transmigration at death of the soul of a human being or animal into a new body.